You need a doctor?
I am a doctor. People all over the world have my disease.
I'm here to find a cure. You have to push the boundaries, take the risks.
You're gonna run. Do it now.
When Morbius hit theaters in 2022, it arrived as one of the most intriguing and controversial chapters in Sony's Spider-Man universe. The film took on the ambitious task of exploring a darker, more tragic corner of the Marvel world through the story of Dr. Michael Morbius, a biochemist whose desperate quest to cure his rare blood disease transforms him into something monstrous. Unlike traditional superhero tales centered on valor and destiny, Morbius delved into the blurred lines between science and horror, offering a story that merged the human desire for salvation with the consequences of tampering with nature. From the moment it was announced, the movie generated strong anticipation due to its unique premise, its connection to the Spider-Man mythos, and its star-studded cast led by Jared Leto. Jared Leto's casting as Michael Morbius was one of the film's most talked-about elements. Known for his transformative performances, Leto brought his signature intensity to the role, portraying a man torn between his brilliance and the curse of his own creation. His version of Morbius was both tragic and frightening, a scientist who becomes a living vampire after experimenting with bat DNA in a bid to cure himself. The character's physical transformation, complete with superhuman strength, speed, and an insatiable thirst for blood, served as both his salvation and his damnation. Leto approached the role with his usual method acting style, immersing himself deeply into the psychological torment of the character. His performance emphasized Morbius's duality, the compassionate doctor who wants to save others and the monstrous being who becomes a danger to everyone around him. The supporting cast added depth and dimension to the film's gothic tone. Matt Smith, known for his charismatic screen presence, portrayed Milo, Morbius's surrogate brother and lifelong friend who suffers from the same disease. Their bond becomes the emotional anchor of the story, but it's also the source of its greatest conflict. When Morbius's experiment succeeds and Milo gains access to the same serum, he embraces his vampiric powers without restraint. Unlike Michael, Milo revels in his newfound strength and freedom, leading to a tragic clash between the two. Their dynamic encapsulates the film's central theme, the moral consequences of scientific advancement and the choices that define heroism versus monstrosity. Adria Arjona portrayed Martine Bancroft, Morbius's colleague and love interest, whose faith in him endures even as his humanity fades. Jared Harris appeared as Dr. Emil Nicholas, the mentor figure who guided both Morbius and Milo since childhood, providing a sense of moral grounding amid the chaos. Tyrese Gibson and Al Madrigal played FBI agents Simon Stroud and Alberto Rodriguez, investigating the string of mysterious murders linked to the blood-drained victims of Morbius's experiments. From a visual standpoint, Morbius was designed to immerse audiences in a world that felt both scientific and supernatural. The film's tone balanced between sleek modern laboratories and shadowy urban landscapes, capturing the duality of Michael's existence. The transformation sequences were some of the most striking moments, showcasing a blend of visual effects and performance that conveyed the pain and power of Morbius's metamorphosis. His facial features shifted into a vampiric visage with glowing eyes, sharp fangs, and bat-like agility. The filmmakers employed a dark color palette and dynamic lighting to accentuate the eerie atmosphere, often contrasting Morbius's internal struggle with the neon-lit streets of New York. The bat swarm scenes became a signature visual motif, symbolizing both his connection to his new nature and his inability to fully control it. The story of Morbius followed a tragic trajectory rooted in moral conflict. Michael Morbius begins as a brilliant scientist devoted to curing his disease and helping others who suffer the same fate. His experiment, though successful in curing his condition, unlocks a monstrous transformation that comes with a predatory urge for blood. Initially, Morbius seeks synthetic blood to avoid harming others, but as the effects weaken, his hunger grows uncontrollable. The more he tries to resist his urges, the more his darker instincts emerge. His relationship with Milo spirals into tragedy when Milo willingly embraces the vampiric lifestyle, killing without remorse. This sets up an emotional confrontation between the two, culminating in a battle that forces Morbius to choose between saving his friend and stopping him for the greater good. The climax underscored the heartbreak of his existence, a man who gained everything he wanted only to lose what mattered most: his humanity. Beyond its plot, Morbius carried the responsibility of expanding Sony's shared Marvel universe. Following the success of Venom and its sequel, the film was part of Sony's ongoing plan to explore Spider-Man's rogues gallery through standalone stories. Fans speculated about potential crossovers, especially with the post-credit scenes that hinted at larger connections. In these scenes, audiences were introduced to Michael Keaton reprising his role as Adrian Toomes, also known as Vulture, from the Spider-Man Homecoming timeline. The encounter between Morbius and Vulture implied future collaborations or confrontations, setting the stage for potential team-ups like the sinister 6A concept long teased in Sony's superhero roadmap. This crossover element deepened the intrigue around how Sony's universe could intersect with the broader Marvel Cinematic Universe, sparking endless fan theories and debates about timelines and multiversal links. Production-wise, Morbius faced several challenges and delays. Originally slated for release in 2020, the film's debut was postponed multiple times due to the global pandemic. These delays built both anticipation and frustration among fans, but they also gave the studio more time to refine visual effects and finalize editing. The film's marketing leaned heavily into its dark, mysterious tone, teasing audiences with glimpses of Morbius's transformation and cryptic hints about its place in the wider Marvel world. The trailers sparked excitement by showcasing both the action and horror elements, emphasizing the character's inner turmoil. However, when the film finally arrived, it sparked divided reactions from both critics and audiences. Some praised its bold visual style and Leto's committed performance, while others felt the narrative struggled to balance its horror roots with superhero storytelling conventions. Despite this, Morbius achieved a notable cultural presence, inspiring memes, online debates, and an enduring fascination that kept the character in public discussion long after its theatrical run. One of the most interesting aspects of Morbius was its attempt to merge genres, blending gothic horror with comic book spectacle. The character's origin in Marvel Comics has always been rooted in tragedy and moral ambiguity, and the film tried to capture that complexity. Instead of presenting Morbius as a straightforward hero or villain, the story portrayed him as a man trapped between his compassion and his curse. His scientific genius became his downfall, and his attempts to control his thirst mirrored classic vampire tales with a modern scientific twist. The film also explored existential questions about identity and morality, using Morbius's transformation as a metaphor for human imperfection and the cost of ambition. Even though it leaned on action and spectacle, its emotional core remained focused on Michael's internal struggle and his hope that redemption was still possible. In the broader context of superhero cinema, Morbius represented a step toward exploring more morally complex figures within the Marvel-related franchises. It followed the success of characters like Venom, who blurred the line between anti-hero and villain, showing that audiences were open to protagonists who operated in moral gray areas. The film's darker tone and focus on body horror made it stand apart from typical superhero fare. Its atmosphere was reminiscent of early 2000s comic book films that balanced emotional tragedy with visual flair. Jared Leto's portrayal of Morbius added a unique flavor to the genre, giving the character a tormented intensity that fit perfectly within Sony's vision of a universe filled with flawed, powerful beings. The score and sound design played a crucial role in amplifying the film's eerie and dramatic tone. The haunting musical cues highlighted the emotional weight of Michael's journey, while the sound of fluttering wings, echoing heartbeats, and distorted breathing immersed the audience in his transformation experience. The action sequences, particularly Morbius's use of echolocation and his fluid, almost spectral movements during fights, gave the film a distinct supernatural edge. These stylistic choices contributed to a sense of dread and fascination, ensuring that even in moments of chaos, Morbius's humanity remained the emotional focal point. In the aftermath of its release, Morbius became something of a cultural phenomenon, though not always for the reasons its creators intended. The film's reception ranged from mixed to polarizing, with many viewers creating memes and online jokes that ironically boosted its popularity. Phrases like "it's Morbin time" became viral, turning the movie into a pop culture talking point that transcended its box office results. Despite this unexpected twist, the film's staying power demonstrated how deeply audiences connect to the Marvel Universe, even when the reception is unconventional. It also kept Morbius as a recognizable figure in the ongoing conversation about anti-heroes in modern cinema. Looking back, Morbius stands as a film that dared to explore the monstrous side of heroism. It presented a story that was tragic, visually bold, and thematically heavy, grounded in a performance that oscillated between sorrow and savagery. While not universally acclaimed, it expanded Sony's growing cinematic world and opened doors for future crossovers and reinterpretations. Its impact went beyond its narrative, becoming a symbol of how modern audiences engage with genre films in unexpected and often humorous ways. Through its mix of gothic style, scientific intrigue, and emotional tension, Morbius carved out a unique identity, one that continues to inspire discussion about what it means to be both man and monster in the world of superheroes.